Hi, Nan Simonson. I am a whole food, plant-based health and wellness coach, as well as an author of Aging Powerfully. My way of saying now at 73, that at any age, we can look forward to 1, 2, or 3 decades ahead of us if we take care of ourselves using lifestyle as medicine. And this lifestyle tip is about food, whole food, plant-based. Nothing but the very best for our body. So this pan is empty. I don't add added oil. Oils are processed, not necessarily olive oil, but I can't see any reason to add oil to something. I'll add fat. As a matter of fact, I'll add tahini, I'll add nut butters, I'll add avocado, but I don't add oils to my foods. And it serves me well. So I have a dry pan. I just added onion. And what is the point of browning onion? It's to get it to caramelize. It's sort of weeping its juices into the pan. As it does that, they kind of brown a little bit. I'll add a little bit of broth. It'll bubble up and caramelize the juices. It's called deglazing. And as the onions continue to get soft, they will develop more flavor and take away that sharp flavor of a raw onion. So Nan, what are you making? Well, I'm making my greens, my favorite way. I'm showing you my favorite way to make greens. And the greens I'm making are beet greens. I go to a farm store every Sunday and I get what they've picked out of the fields, and they had beautiful beets. So I buy the beets for the beets. I Instant Pot those, and I buy the beets for the greens. I think the best quick saute greens are beet greens. Next to that would be chard, because they can be cooked there for a very brief period of time and still stay bright green and be tender enough to eat with a meal. And the meal that I'm making, I'm actually doing a second video that I've already begun, and that is for a cauliflower, rice, and hummus dish. That will be our main dish, and then we're going to serve greens with it. So I also make my own broth. I love these bottles because it's just fun to work with a glass bottle. Get them on Amazon. But I make my broth whenever I'm low. I'll just take the frozen greens and the frozen scraps out of the freezer that I keep in there in a 1-gallon Ziploc freezer bag, and just keep adding to it carrot peels and just vegetable scraps. And I even have a video on making almost free broth, is what I call it. Okay, see, this is browning already. And every time I add that little bit of broth, it's just a couple of tablespoons, it bubbles up. You can see that because the fire is relatively high. It bubbles up, deglazes, and caramelizes. Now I'm going to add my greens. I don't have to do much more. Oh, you know what else I'm going to add? I use, this is a gnarly looking bit of it, isn't it? But I buy quantities of peeled garlic. You can get at Costco 1.5 pounds. That's a lot of garlic, 100-something cloves. And I was shown by Tammy of Nutmeg Notebook in one of her videos how to roast the garlic, so you can look for that. Tammy or just Nutmeg Notebook roasted garlic, and freeze it. I freeze it into little silicone ice cube trays that hold 2 tablespoons each, and then I keep them like that in the refrigerator, and then the rest in Ziploc bags in the freezer. And so I have these little 2 tablespoon cubes of roasted garlic. I just added the garlic already. This is smelling amazing. Okay, so now this is where I'm getting a lot of the flavor. And they call onions, garlic, shallots, leeks, green onions aromatics, because they add flavor to anything. If you want to add some additional flavor and you're not salt sensitive, this Better Than Bouillon seasoned vegetable base. You have to be careful because they have a chicken base, they have a meat base, but the seasoned vegetable base is so densely flavored that even the smallest amount of it can add a lot of flavor. Now, what am I doing with this spatula backwards and forwards, in other words, front and back? Silicone is great to use with heat because it's not diminished by heat under 450 degrees, but it's also very plant or very food friendly as opposed to rubber or certainly plastic, which I would not use with heat. And I just don't happen to have a spoon standing here with me. I'm kind of rushing to get ready for dinner and decided, well, if I'm gonna make this, I might as well show somebody. You're somebody, thank you. All right, so I have, first of all, these are the, this is the chard. It's telling me that my cauliflower that's in my Breville oven should be turned around for even heating, which I seldom do because it heats very well in there anyway. Now what I'm going to do, and I can do this, you're gonna say, ooh, what are you doing? I turn it to try to get the onion and broth somewhat dispersed, and it's still very cool. When it stops being very cool, you can bet I won't be doing this. I could do it with a spoon, but it's just as easy. Actually, it's easier if I do it with the greens while they're cool. When I get to a certain point, they're not cool anymore because I just turned it up, or the bottom up. Okay, and normally I would have a cloth with me. I'm just kind of throwing all this together willy-nilly, can you tell? Okay, see, this is what I would do, but when they're very crisp, they want to fly all over. Now they're starting to wilt, and so it works better with the spatula. Okay, now they require a cover to keep the heat in and to allow them to weep. So I'm going to put a cover on it. I'm going to let them cook about 8 minutes, and I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm back. It's just been minutes, maybe, 6, 7. And this is what we're looking at. Look at these beautiful greens. I could turn up the heat, fire it up, and reduce the water, the juice from the, well, let's say from the broth, but also from the vegetables. I don't want them to cook anymore. I don't want them to lose their color, so I'm going to turn this off. I could add something, well, like local spiceries della or Sautéed della Toscano, which is an Italian herb mix, which is wonderful. It has garlic and a number of seasonings, but no salt at all. And I think I will. And the other thing I added, I'm going to show you. After I got off, I took a quarter of an apple and I thin sliced it. I happened to have some nice organic Honey Crisp. And look, a little bit of Honey Crisp apple. This is really hot. Oh my goodness. I was doing a Zoom event with a group of ladies that I do the Zoom event with every week, my PowerPoint group, Points of Interest as it relates to lifestyle as medicine. And she said she does something similar, but she adds a little bit of apple. And I'd never thought of that. So I'm gonna leave this uncovered. I don't want it to cook anymore, but before I serve it, because my meal is just about ready, my husband just came home, I'm gonna go to the other video, plate the main course. We'll be serving this alongside of it. But before I serve it, I'll fire it up and turn some of this broth. See if you can, this is so hot. See if I do too much. Yeah, you can see a little of the broth down there. There we go. I want that, it's rather soupy. I want it to become thicker and to turn into a glaze, but I don't want to cook this anymore. So I'm gonna make a little mound. I'm gonna let that stuff fire up super, super hot, and then we'll serve it. And you saw me put on the Better Than Bouillon. When I tasted this, this has plenty of salt in it from that, even though I used a tiny bit. So I'm not gonna add anything more. I liked what I tasted, and I really like what the apple did. So I hope you saw some. I'm not paying attention to you because I'm looking for my off switch. I hope you like what you saw. Give me a thumbs up if you do. Let people know about the channel, because we cook here, I cook here, whole food, plant-based, that, oh gosh, if you fall in love with that way of eating, it will love you back. And at 73, I feel like I'm aging backwards from almost 6 years ago when I began this and had everything wrong with me. Have a great day. I know I will. Bye.